What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews back at it again with the Hometown Take Podcast, episode 27, coming at you right now. Got a great episode lined up for you. Why? Because we're talking post-trade deadline. Woo! Man, it was busy. And you know what team was one of the busiest, if not the busiest? Our Atlanta Hawks. I was pretty shook, people, to be honest with you. I was like, dang, Hawks out here making moves. Some moves, head scratchers. Some moves, good moves. And expected moves. So, let's go through it right now. Got one other piece of info news coming up, but that'll be for the end. But mainly focusing on Hawks post-trade deadline moves. So, here we go. Obviously, the first big move and pretty much the first big move of the trade deadline and the Hawks' biggest move, as I was saying, making the biggest deal since 2000 when Patrick Ewing was traded from the Knicks. They were in a 4-team, 12-player deal that ultimately sent Clint Capela to our Atlanta Hawks. I like the pickup. I think it's a great move for the Hawks. To me, it says the Hawks are still building for the future, but also trying to make steps to win now. They're trying to take that next step. They're going for the playoffs next year. The Hawks are definitely going for the playoffs next year. I mean, you see the moves they make. You don't get Clint Capela just to rebuild for another 2-3 seasons. No. You get a guy who's averaging 13.9 points per game, 13.8 rebounds per game, 4 of those offensive, and basically 2 blocks per game, 1.8 if you want to get technical about it. You don't get a guy like that when you're still, in the early rebuilding stage. No, the Hawks are still in the building phase. Don't get me wrong. They're not a completed product yet, but the Hawks are definitely looking to make the playoffs next year. They're looking to make that next step. They're looking to get over the hump. One with the Clint Capela move, obviously, which I love. I'll go into that deeply here for a second. I think it'll work out great. I do have some questions that I'll bring up here in a second, but I love it for these reasons. I think this will be a great piece for Trae Young, John Collins, Kevin Huerter, and the rest of the Hawks. Trae Young will be able to do the screen and roll with Clint Capela. Clint Capela is going to gobble up a whole bunch of second chance points. We know Trae plays on the perimeter. Trae's going to shoot a lot of long threes along with Kevin Huerter. And Clint Capela can get those misses, get those long rebounds, put him back up and in. He's an alley-oop option on the fast break. He runs pretty well. He'll be able to run in the break. So I think it'll work out. Clint Capela also, like I just said, 1.8 blocks per game this season. He's going to be a shot blocker. He's going to be a rim protector. He's going to gobble up defensive rebounds as well. Finish off those defensive possessions, which the Hawks need. They've been needing a good, solid, formidable big man, and they got that plus a little more, I think, in Clint Capela. So it was a good move for the Hawks. I love that move. Love it. So, some questions I have about Clint Capela. You know why he left Houston. Everybody pretty much knows why now he left Houston. Russ and James said he was getting in the way. He was in their way. He was clogging up the lane. He wasn't really doing much. He's not a shooter, so he can't get out there in the corner and be a three-point threat. Really doesn't even really have a mid-range game either, so he was in the way. There's film of him getting in the way, being in the way when Russ is trying to drive. James didn't really like him in the pick and roll. So hopefully we can just use him better in Atlanta. Hopefully our scheme is more fit for his skill set. But that's scary because you don't know if the same thing is going to happen with Trae Young. You just hope the same thing doesn't rear its ugly head. You just hope that Clint finds a home here. Hopefully we can sign him long term. I would like to think he's the long-term solution. I mean, he's still pretty young. He's got playoff experience as well, though. Each of his first 4 seasons, he's made it to the playoffs. So we'll see. He's in year number 5, by the way. So we gonna see. But I like the moves, though. I like the moves. Other moves the Hawks made. They got Dwayne Dedmon back. Good, solid backup center. He can spread the floor, shoot the three. So that'll definitely play out in the Hawks system. We've already seen Dwayne Dedmon be able to put in work here. Solid backup piece. So like I said, the Hawks trying to rebuild, but also showing that, hey, we're ready to take this next step. We're going for the playoffs next year. No doubt about it. Also, the Hawks got Skal Labissiere from Portland in exchange for cash. And also in that Dwayne Dedmon deal, they sent off Evan Turner and Alex Len. Atlanta also got a 2020 and 2021 second round pick in the deal as well. So still gathering up some draft picks and still getting some good talent as well. So the Hawks are up to something. I'm telling y'all, they are up to something. They also waived Chandler Parsons if you wanted to make some room for Clint Capela in that major 4-team, 12-player deal as well. One move the Hawks made didn't make all that sense to me at first, but if what I know now is true, then it makes sense. They traded cash for Clippers guard Derek Walton Jr., but they waived Derek Walton Jr. almost immediately afterward. That didn't make too much sense to me because why would you give another team cash for a player you immediately waive? Didn't make sense. And I was like, what are you doing? But I didn't necessarily believe that. I know our GM Travis Link is way smarter than that and would not make a stupid deal like that. So I looked into it a little bit more and also saw that the Hawks got cash back from the Clippers as well. So we got Derek Walton Jr. and cash for sending cash to the Clippers. Still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. But if we got cash back, I'm not shaking my head too much. So it's okay. That's the only deal that really kind of had me shook a little bit. I was like, huh? But seems to be all good. But Travis Slink is putting together some big, big things. He's still gathering up some picks. We still kept our first round pick. You know he's not letting go of that gem right there because that's going to be a lottery pick in some way, shape, or form. So he couldn't let go of that. He might try to get another pick in the first round with the second round picks and some other picks that he might try to acquire. There's a couple things he could do. You got Skal Labissiere, you got Dwayne Dedmon. You think I would have to probably think Skal is gonna be your backup power forward now behind John Collins. Dwayne Dedmon is gonna be in the rotation with Damian Jones. He's probably gonna move up to second string center, and Damian Jones is probably gonna be the third string center. That means Bruno Fernando is probably gonna get sent down to the G League. He's probably gonna spend some time with College Park after everybody gets in. It's gonna be a lot of moving pieces. It's interesting. We're gonna see what happens. Maybe he throws together Skal Labissiere, Damian Jones in the package for some picks, or he's got a lot of options. He got a lot of assets now that he can move around or he could keep and build around. Maybe we're, like I said, experimenting with Skal and seeing if he can be a formidable piece off the bench, seeing if he can be a good rotational guy for us down the future. Young guy, like I said, could fit well in the rotation maybe. We'll see. It's a lot of things cooking up here for the Atlanta Hawks. Very, very, very active during the trade deadline. And I like it. I like us to be relevant. We're relevant, making moves. We're trying to build the team, trying to make the team better. That is what Travis Link is showing me right now through the trade deadline. I hope we're this active in free agency because we're going to have a lot of money to spend still. Still $49.2 million we're going to have to spend this summer in free agency. So we better be active in that free agent market. Better get us some pieces to win out. And I think Travis Link is going to do that. I think he's going to get either maybe some veteran pieces or some good young pieces kind of already established in the league to help us, again, win now. Take that next step. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait till free agency now. Hawks are going to have money to spend. Me and my friends got money to spend. Yeah, me and my friends, we got money to spend. Me and my Hawks, we got money to spend. That's right. Hawks got money to spend. I hope they spend it wisely, and I think they will. I really like everything GM Travis Slink has done so far. You bring in John Collins. Obviously, you bring in Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish, now DeAndre Hunter as well. He's still building. Now you bring in Clint Capela. He's doing some work. Our GM working, and I love to see it. I love to see it. But to recap, if you haven't heard, just to kind of shorten everything up for you, Hawks make a huge trade to kick off the trade deadline. Big 4-team, 12-player deal that included the Minnesota Timberwolves, obviously the Houston Rockets, because that's where we got Clint Capela from, and also the Denver Nuggets. You probably know the whole story of it. So basically, Houston gets Robert Covington. which he balled out in that Laker game. They are going so small. Do y'all think that's going to work? I want to hear from y'all about that. Do y'all think their super small lineup with like PJ Tucker at the 5? Do y'all think that's going to work? I mean, we saw it against the Lakers. Granted, it's a regular season game, but Russ got put on AD a few times, and he put the moves on AD a couple times, got him twisted around. AD needed a little map because he got lost. But y'all think it's going to work in the playoffs when the team's trying to slow down on them and get the posting them up? I mean, you put AD in the post against any one of them, and it's going to be scary hours for Houston. But we'll see if it works. But Houston going extremely small. They had a lineup that was Russell Westbrook, James Harden, PJ Tucker, Robert Covington, and Daniel House Jr., I believe it was. That's a super small lineup. That's crazy. Haven't seen anything like that in a minute, boy. But let me know if y'all think that's going to work. Anyways, Houston got Robert Covington. Atlanta got Clint Capela and Nene. They waived Nene. Minnesota got Malik Beasley and Juancho Hernan-Gomez and Evan Turner and Atlanta's first-round pick via the Nets. So we keep ours, but we gave our Nets pick away. We're going to have to give up something to get Clint, you know what I'm saying? So that's all going to Minnesota. And Denver got Gerald Green and Houston's first-round pick. So there you go. That was the big trade for the Atlanta Hawks. The biggest one, like I said, biggest NBA deal since the Knicks moved Patrick Ewing to Seattle in 2000. Crazy, right? And a big deal like that. I love it, though. Atlanta waived Chandler Parsons to create roster space to complete that 4-team trade. His expiring $25.1 million contract couldn't stay on the books to bring Clint Capela, you feel me? So we had to waive Chandler Parsons. Then Atlanta made another deal. They weren't done yet, trading for Dwayne Dedmon, and they gave Sacramento Jabari Parker and Alex Len. Atlanta also got a 2020 and 2021 second-round pick. Don't be surprised if, like I said, GM Travis Lank uses those to get back in the first round and get a second first-round pick back since they traded away their first-round pick that came from the Brooklyn Nets. Atlanta still wasn't done yet as they traded for Portland's forward Skal Labissiere for cash. And then they made one kind of head-scratcher deal that was a little confusing, but I think I kind of got it figured out now. Derek Walton Jr., Clippers guard, for cash. And it looked to be it because that's what the reliable Adrian Wojnarowski put out on his Twitter. And I trust everything Woj says. All the Woj bombs are correct Woj bombs and accurate bombs. But that didn't seem right to me. But I saw from another place where I did a little more digging that the Hawks also got cash for Derek Walton Jr. So it's kind of like cash for cash and a player that we automatically waived. It was still kind of weird. Don't know all the little ins and outs, but seems like it makes sense for the most part. So that was the Hawks during the trade deadline. Something serious, active, making big splashes, making good moves for the team, not only now, but for the future. Clint Capela's still a young dude. Skal Labissiere's a young dude. So we'll see what happens. As I always say, we're going to see. The Hawks aren't done. Like I said, $49.2 million to spend in free agency this summer. You know GM Travis Lank is going to make some moves. And I'm ready to see him. Hope you guys are ready too. Let me know what y'all think about the Clint Capela trade. Like I said, I think it's going to be great. I think we'll use his skills more. Let me know what y'all think about the Clint Capela trade. I think we'll be able to utilize his skill set more than they did in Houston. But tell me what y'all think. I do have some questions. There have been questions about Clint Capela's hands, not having the great hands, and also just clogging up the lane, not being able to get off the block and stretch the floor, and just clogging up the lane a little too much. That's why he got booted out of Houston. And Houston's going small now, super duper small. Mini lineup. That's what I heard Dominique Wilkins say. They got a mini lineup. But tell me what y'all think about the Clint Capela deal and all the other deals Atlanta made. Do y'all like them? What do y'all think about them? Travis Lank plans for something even bigger maybe during free agency, or who knows? What is he going to do in free agency? What players can we draw to Atlanta in free agency? With Trae Young, all-star starter, John Collins, Kevin Huerter, no scrub, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish as well. Now Clint Capela, putting together a good little young squad. Y'all better look out. what free agents are going to be like, you know what? Atlanta's a wave right now, a vibe that I want to jump on. So come on and join the vibe, guys. So what y'all think we get? Let me know. Tell me in the comments down below. Down below. But told you I had another little piece of news that I wanted to bring up. Former Georgia State player R.J. Hunter, you might remember him from the NCAA tournament a while back ago, hit the game-winning shot. His dad was the coach, Coach Ron Hunter, no longer the coach now, but Ron had, I think it was like a broken leg or something like that. He was in a little rolling chair. R.J. Hunter hit the game-winning shot in the NCAA tournament, first round, and Ron got so excited he fell out of his chair and started flailing all over the place. It was great. It was hilarious. He is coming back to Atlanta, and he is joining the College Park Skyhawks. So, old RJ back in his old roots. He was in the NBA for a little while, had a stint with Boston, good little stint. And now he is back in Georgia, trying to make his way back to the league, I'm guessing, starting through the College Park Skyhawks. So, shouts out to RJ and the College Park Skyhawks. Good luck to him. Best of luck to him. Hope to see him back in the NBA. Good player. Can shoot the three. Got a nice little dribble drive move. So, we'll see if he can work on that skill set and get himself back in the league. But that is all for this episode, guys. Make sure you like this video. Tell your friends about the podcast. Share the podcast. Subscribe to the channel. You dig? Hometown Tape Podcast trying to take off. You feel me? So, until next time, guys. Till some next big time news breaks or, something like that. I'm going to talk to you soon. Peace.